Anyway, so those two options, you get a chance to have it returned to you. An overvote, you can't fix. You have to take that back, get a replacement ballot, and start over. Which you're welcome to do. You can have up to 3 ballots. You can spoil 2, and you have to use the third one. But, okay, so that's at the polls. If you, in our office, Election Central, let's say, when you're we're processing the absentee/mail ballots, it automatically will outstack the same thing. It will outstack overvotes and blank ballots. Those go to the canvassing board. Since the voter's not there anymore, we don't know whose ballot it is. They go to the canvassing board, and the canvassing board will determine what they think was voter intent. They have to agree on it. And if it looks like they circled all their names and they didn't use the ovals, but you can clearly tell who they chose, they'll send those to what we call our duplicating board, and they'll take another ballot and they'll fill it out the same exact way that the voter intended. Those two will go back to the canvassing board. The canvassing board will check it, make sure they did it right, and then those will both run through the scanner so that they process properly. The same thing with an overvote or an undervote. If there's an overvote, it might be because they were filling out one oval and then their pen just kind of dropped and accidentally crossed the other one. Or maybe they rested their pen, on it while they were going down and they just made a dot. And if it's clear that they wanted this one and not that one, then they'll duplicate it so that it processes properly. So those are the 2 ways those are done.
Now, if that's done, and it has to go to the canvassing board and all that, those votes aren't counted that night, are they?
Oh, yes.
Right then and there, that night they're counted.
Yes, they are, because here's the thing. We can start, state law allows us to open mail ballots beginning 6 days before the election. So the Wednesday before, especially if we have 200,000 ballots, we're going to start early. As early as they'll let us. So the canvassing board starts meeting Wednesday before. As long as the canvassing board is present, we can start opening and processing ballots. So all of those are run through the scanner. They start looking at what we call questionables, the outstacks. They look at those, they process those are run through, duplicated, run through as they need to be. And so by election day, they're almost done with the mail ballots. All they have left is anything that came in Monday before and anything that comes in that day. So the things that came in Monday before, they process Tuesday morning, election day morning, and then anything that comes in that day, they process at the end of the day. They are opening them and getting them ready to process, but they run them through at their night meeting, which is about 5 or 6 o'clock usually.
Is there any distinction between mail-in ballot and absentee ballot?
It's exactly the same. The law calls it an absentee ballot. That's the legal name for it. But we also have started calling it mail ballots because as of 2002, you don't have to have an excuse to vote a mail ballot, absentee. So since you don't have to be absent, why call it absentee? It gives a wrong impression. It's just because maybe you can't stand that long to fill out a 2-card ballot. Maybe you want to sit down and read, at your leisure. For whatever reason, we call it the same thing.
My mom lives overseas. She did not receive her primary ballot. Is she going to receive her general election ballot?
I would check to see, make sure she's on the list to receive one.
So just go on and do the voter check thing?
I'll tell you now, we're mailing overseas ballots on September 16th. That's a Thursday. If she doesn't get it, like in a week or so after that, have her give us a call or email us, and we'll check it out.
She said last time, last general election, she did an email thing. She emailed the ballot back, but she didn't see anything in the primary. She got a thing saying, have you voted yet? Have you voted your ballot yet? But she never received the ballot itself.
Yeah, just if she doesn't get it within a week or so, I would let us know. We'll send another one. Sometimes, if we send a bunch of them at a time, there might be a problem. We have another in the mail system, but we can always send a replacement ballot. If you don't get your ballot, we've already mailed them, let us know, and we will be happy to mail a replacement ballot. And no, you can't vote 2 ballots. So the first one we get back that's voted, well, we don't know if it's voted. The first one we get back that's signed and the signature matches, that one counts. So if you try to send us another one, it's not going to count.
Physically, somebody looks at each one those signatures on those?
That's a good question. We have a Pitney Bowes mailing system, and so when the ballots come back, it runs it through there. It actually has a digital camera that takes a digital image of the signature, and that goes into the system, and then our voter services department, it goes into a queue, and they can pull up one and check it against the signature on file. If it matches, they click accept. If it doesn't, they mark it to go to the canvassing board. The canvassing board has to look at any ballots that the signature is questionable. If there's any question at all, it goes there.
Saying somebody can pull it out, or somebody does pull it out each time?
They don't physically touch it. They're pulling it
They're
up on
looking at
the
the
screen.
computer screen?
They're pulling it up on the screen, a digital image from the ballot that came in, and then the digital image on the voter record.
Do they do every? Do they do every one, or they just do like one out of every?
They do every one, every single one, because that's how we mark their file that we've received their ballot. That way, when you go on to the polls, it's going to say next to your name, voted absentee, because we know we already got a ballot back.
A quick question about college students. Now, my son's on the mail-in ballot because he's in Orlando, but I'm not sure, like, if he didn't do the mail-in ballot, can he vote where he lives right now? How does that work?
He can. He can move his voter registration to the county where he's living.
Okay.
He can move to Orange County, and there's no problem with that. If he wants to get involved in the city election there, he can do that.
Okay, how much time does he have to do that before the election?
He can actually do it on election day. Yes. That's because now we have a statewide voter system, voter registration database. And so if you're already a registered voter in Florida and you move to anywhere in Florida, it's considered an address change. Because you're already on the system.
Where do the members of the canvassing board come from?
The county judge, it's always a county judge, whoever's appointed by the chief judge. And this time it's Patrick Whitlock. And then also the supervisor of elections, and then the chairman of the board of county commissioners. It's always those three people.
Are those appointed people?
They're all elected officials.
They're elected, okay.
And I mean, it's nice when it works out to have two parties represented. But it doesn't always, sometimes it doesn't. That's all those are.
Provisional ballot, whenever you check to make sure that everyone, is it still a secret ballot?
That is a tough question. If there is only one provisional ballot in a precinct, it's really not secret. And we hate that. We hate it. But there's nothing we can do about it. The state law requires us to report results by precinct. So someone could conceivably get the records and see who the final provisional ballot was. It's not right, but that's the way it is. Provisional ballots aren't counted, by the way. I just want you to know that. If they're found to be eligible, they are counted. So, definitely. And also, if you go to the polls and you don't have your ID with you, and you go ahead and fill out a provisional ballot, you sign the envelope on the outside, and they bring it back, and we research all of those just like we would a mail ballot. If the signature matches what we have on file, and presumably they also, but they would have shown an ID in the past. As long as that's not the first time they voted, and they've shown ID in the past, then those are all counted. Those are automatically accepted as.
Nancy, I got asked a lot when I was standing out in the rain for 12 hours at the primary, if they received an absentee ballot from you, but they had not voted that, and they show up at the polls that day, are they allowed to vote that day?
They are.
Okay.
They are allowed to vote. What happens, the best thing is if they take the ballot with them and just say, I want to cancel this, I'm not going to vote, and then they'll issue you a precinct ballot.
Okay.
But if they don't bring it with you, they call our office and they verify that we haven't received it.
Okay, so
And
they're
then
still
they
allowed
give
to
the
vote.
ballot.
Okay.
It just takes longer if you don't have it in your hand.
So there's still a chance for them to vote.
Well, if we later got a know it, and we could prosecute it. And we do sometimes. If we find out, it's a very small number, very, very small number.
Somebody hasn't registered to vote yet, they still have 28 days before still ranking or something like that.
29 days before the election. For the general, October 4th is the registration deadline.
Anybody have any more questions?
Just looking at it.